So, accountability. Let's talk about it. So, I wanted to discuss today about the idea of how accountability and procrastination go hand in hand. Because if you think about it like this, right? I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and she was essentially saying, like, Shay, I'm not like you. I'm not the type of person that just does every single time. I talk more than I do, essentially, is what she was saying. And I was saying to her, like, for the first thing, let's establish this. We bleed the same blood and we both got the same 24 hours. There's no real difference between me and you. It's just that I might consistently get what I say I want to do done more often than you may. And that is when I broke it down in a way of like, I put gravity and I put consequence on my decisions. So, prime example, I'll take you back to when I was little and I was probably about 6 or 7 or 8, around them ages. And my mum used to say that I always used to cry when it came to like things like sports days, because back in England we called them that. So when the kids will run around and do different activities, whether it be 100-meter runs, all that kind of stuff, we call it sports day. And I used to cry whether I won or whether I lost, right? And I was explaining to my friend that even from a young age, I've always focused on accountability, because when you apply gravity to something, that means you put stakes at a higher place than a lower place. So what you may find is that in your everyday decision making, you might be an individual who would put something on the back burner simply because that's the easiest thing to do. But it's not the best thing to do. So I put gravity on everything. Well, I try to at least. I'm still fallible. I'm still a human being. But the best thing about putting gravity on things is that it forces you to do them at a sooner moment in time. If you're too busy focused on, oh, I can do it tomorrow, or I'll just place it on the back burner for now because, as I said, it's the easiest thing to do. You don't want to be in that situation, because you'll find yourself doing that more and more, and then what used to become something that you just did once or twice, it now becomes a habit. And once it gets to a point of being a habit, you're done. You're done. And it takes a lot of unlearning and a lot of undoing to get from where you are now to where you want to be. And the second thing I said to them is that I apply consequence to everything, because let's say if I didn't win a race and I'd cry, yeah, I lost. That's because I'm not getting the plaudits, I'm not getting the girls, I'm not getting any of the attention, the spotlight's on someone else. But that's because they won. I didn't win. So I don't feel as if I'm in a good position to feel good about myself. But if I did win, there's still a consequence, because I know that there's good to come from it. All the things that I mentioned that I wouldn't receive if I lost is all the things I get now that I've won. So the point I'm making is that with accountability, we have to take it, whether it be from a young age or the age that we're currently at now in our adulthood. We have to ensure that at all times we are applying gravity and consequence to things. Because now let's pitch it to wherever you are right now in life. If where you are right now is in a place where you are putting things on the back burner, like I mentioned, you aren't getting your goals over the line, you're not achieving much, or you're not happy with where you are right now, you have to take that accountability and realize that a lot of the time, procrastination is your biggest killer. So the first thing you got to do is address it. Admit it to yourself. Look in the mirror, whatever works for you, and say, I am procrastinating. Don't say you're a procrastinator, because you don't want to label yourself as that. But say you are currently procrastinating. That is the first step to everything. Yeah, you got to admit it. You have to say it as it is. Look yourself in the mirror, as I mentioned, and be real with yourself. Be straight with yourself. Be authentic to yourself, and make it clear, I need to stop doing this. This isn't something I can consistently do and expect a different result from. That's insanity. As we say, like, you keep doing the same thing again and again, and then you wonder why you're getting the same exact results. So like I said, apply that gravity to the situation. Apply that consequence. What happens if you don't do what you need to do? What situation does that then leave you in? Because I know a lot of us are sitting here and it's the start of a new year, so we're saying new year, new me. We're doing all of the resolutions. We're making ourselves feel good about the fact that we're going to achieve this, that, and the third by the end of the year. But then what happens is that you don't do any of them things. And the same place you were in 2025 is where you are at the end of 2026. You have to ask yourself, what is the consequence of not getting these things done? And are you even applying any consequence to these things? So when I was speaking to my friend, that's exactly how I broke it down to her. I said, you have to understand that situations change, but you can't. You have to be the same you in any given moment in time. It doesn't matter what's going on. It doesn't matter what's going on around you. You need to reduce that noise that is happening, whether it's in your own head or other people are contributing to the noise that you have in your head anyway, right? So as I said, those are the two key things I want you guys to take away from this video. Apply gravity to the situation. Make things deeper than they are or how they seem on the surface, because that way you're going to apply your full attention to a situation rather than half of you or a quarter of you or a tiny little fragment of yourself. Give everything to what you need to do. Look at your goals list, look at your plans. What do you have in mind to get done by this year? And actually say to yourself, I'm going to hold myself to account daily. Apply that consequence to things. Make sure that you know, all right, if I don't get this done, this is what it's going to lead to. You see, we kind of grown up now in a world where, well, a lot of younger children are growing up in a world where everyone's a winner. Everyone can win at the same time. Thanks for participating. That's kind of what you're getting. You see, when I was in school, that wasn't a thing. That wasn't a thing. I know for a lot of people watching these videos, that's not what you grew up with. You grew up knowing that there's winners and there's losers, right? And we have to kind of bring that culture back in order to actually achieve things, because there's no other metric to go by. If you don't have the gold medal, then you're the first loser if you came second. You're the second loser if you came third. So there's no real gain from any of that within yourself. And if you feel like you've been numb to that, it's now time to start recreating that culture for yourself. That yes, there are winners, there are losers, there are rich, there are poor. We can't keep lying to ourselves, because again, that's what then infringes on the accountability that we then take. So if we knew from kids that if you were the person that didn't finish first, then you were a loser, straight up and down. You got to say that to yourself. You don't want to be that. Look at the situation you may be in right now. You may have kids, you may have young nieces and nephews, you may have a lot of family and friends around you that are proud of you anyway, but you know within yourself there's certain things that you haven't achieved yet. There's certain things that you have been ignoring. Your purpose, your calling, whatever you want to do with work and how you want to scale your career. All of these things may be things that you've actually said to yourself, you know what, I don't really have the confidence for right now. And a lot of the time, you don't have confidence by default. Confidence is a result of something else, and usually it's a result of taking action. And before you take action, you need to take accountability. So again, going back to procrastination, apply gravity to the situation, apply consequence to the situation. And this is what we focus on so much in our work as a whole, and what we do as a coach. You know, by diploma, I have a life coaching diploma. So by trade, I'm a project manager. I have things that I'm proud of, yes, but I'm using it for the greater good of you guys now. I want to ensure that I'm in a situation where I can ensure that you guys are getting the best possible start to this stuff. So this is what we focus on at Not For The Weak-Hearted, and the link will be in our description for those that want to have a look at our services, that want to book an alignment call with us as well, because this is what we do. We focus on these things where, okay, you've got the ideas in mind, but you need to apply them. And not everyone has that confidence to begin with too. Sometimes you need someone on your arm, around you, just making sure that you know within yourself, you're getting these things over the line, and you're getting them things over the line in good timing. It's not just about doing it because you can do anything at any given moment. That's fine. But we can't keep saying I can do it tomorrow. We can't keep putting things off as if they are just okay to do that to. Do you understand? We have goals, we have aspirations, we have dreams, and these things need to get done with good timing. So I don't want anyone that you're around telling you that you've got all the time in the world, because I've got friends that are older than me and I've got friends that are younger than me. And to the friends that are older than me, I told them that it's never too late. To the friends that are younger than me, I'm telling them you don't have all the time in the world, because tomorrow, genuinely speaking, if you think about it, we live in a here and now, we live in a present reality. Tomorrow, or to say that you can do things tomorrow, is a luxury for those that live in the future. It's a luxury for those people that want to say, oh, I've got all the time, I've got this, I've got that. You don't. So what we want to do is keep things real with you guys, and anything that we tell you is never going to be something we don't practice ourselves, because we've all struggled with procrastination. Myself, I've struggled. Just Jordan, who else runs this channel with me and this page and this business, we both struggled. Procrastination is something that has crippled us both at times, but we don't want that to be your reality. And this is why we have worked so hard to overcome those hurdles, to then now be able to put it in a format for you guys to then receive and apply in your own life. So ask yourself today, what am I going to do? Am I going to continue to put things off? Am I going to continue to procrastinate and be okay with procrastinating? Or am I going to say to myself, enough's enough? Now is the time. Not tomorrow, not later on, today. So if you know you want to do that, you know what to do, and we're here. We're here. We're going to try our very, very best to keep this content coming to you guys as regularly as we can get it out. Because as far as I'm concerned, the time is now. There's no other opportunity. There's nowhere to hide. You can't keep running off into the distance and finding little corners like mice do to run and hide in. No, that's not what happens here. On this channel, we will commit to that exact degree of accountability that we're telling you to uphold. But if you need help doing it, here we are. So let's go.